This is MTG Burgeoning, and in this video we are going to update our Rograkh, Son of Rograkh, and Akiri Lineslinger Equipment Matter EDH deck. Welcome to another installment of the Up and Up series. Today we are updating Rograkh and Akiri. I don't know why this combination is not as popular as it should be. I know so many players want to pair Arden with Rograkh, but you just can do a better, quicker, and more efficient job by cycling through one commander after the next. Rograkh comes down, someone takes care of it. Okay, time for Akiri to come down. All right, somebody took care of Akiri. Let's bring back Rograkh. They basically are going to swing in for Voltron commander damage. Let's go. All right, baby, we got 3 cards going in, 3 cards coming out. And of course, if you want to familiarize yourself with this deck a little bit, you can go fishing around in the description where you'll find links to the deck tech, the deck list, and the video primer series. All right, so the first card going into this Boros Equipment Matters Partner EDH deck, it is Inventory Management. Here we have an instance with red and white, of course, the colors of Boros. It has the split second mechanic. So nice to see this making a comeback, hopefully, which means that as long as this spell is on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. So this bad boy is not going to get countered. We're going to be able to resolve this and hopefully end up winning the game. And when we do, for each aura and equipment we control, we may attach it to a creature we control. Note that it does not say attach it to a different creature we control. We are going to be able to pick any aura, any number of auras and equipment, and put them on any number of creatures we control. That's going to be uber powerful, particularly because this deck is flush with artifacts. Is flush with equipment. And Inventory Management is going to allow us to equip those to a creature at instant speed with split second that can't be countered. So sure, we'll send in a 0/1 Rograkh with 4, 5, 6 swords not attached to it. Sure, that opponent won't block it because it's only an 0/1. We pay a red, we pay a white, and suddenly, bye-bye, that opponent goes bye-bye. With Inventory Management going into the 99, it's going to replace Reckless Crew. Now here, Reckless Crew, this is a sorcery that did something somewhat similar to what Inventory Management does right now. For 3 in a red, we create X 2/1 red dwarf berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of vehicles we control plus the number of equipment we control. Side note, there are no vehicles in this deck. Just a ton of equipment. For each of those tokens, we may attach an equipment we control to it. So basically how this shakes down is if we have 6 equipment, we're going to pay 3 in a red, we're going to create 6 2/1 red dwarf berserkers, and then we're going to attach one of those equipment, one of the 6, to each one of those 2/1 dwarf tokens. This card seems like it's a bomb card to cast, but then what we end up with are a bunch of small tokens with equipment on them, and this deck is not built to go for the long game. We want to swing out with our commanders. Remember, we have a 0 mana value commander and a 2 mana value commander. We want to come swinging out of the gates and knock opponent after opponent out of the game with commander damage. We are not equipped for the long game and bringing down point totals from 40 down to 0 for 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 opponents, which is what Reckless Crew is looking for us to do. We need to strike for 21 damage, get one opponent out, and then move on to the next one. So in a way, Reckless Crew is kind of outside of the theme of what we're doing in our deck, and Inventory Management is going to do a better job of doing what we want to do with our commanders. All right, card number 2 going in. It is, Cassandra Eagle Bearer. Here we have a legendary human assassin warrior 2/2 for 1 and Boros colors. She has haste, and when Cassandra ETBs, we search our graveyard, hand, or library for a card named the Spear of Leonidas, and we put it onto the battlefield and then shuffle. And whenever a creature we control with a legendary equipment attached to it deals combat damage to a player, we draw a card. We have a number of legendary equipments in this deck. They are going to be attached to our legendary creatures here, which doesn't really matter. We are going to deal combat damage to our opponents. We will reap the benefits of drawing those cards. Will we have the Spear of Leonidas into the 90? Will we put that into the 99? I think there's a pretty good chance that the last card in our video is going to be that spear that Cassandra will fetch for us and get it right into, I'm sorry, not fetch for us, but it's going to put it right onto the battlefield. So yeah, it's going to fetch it. Even if it's in our hand, we're going to be able to put it onto the battlefield. With Cassandra going into the 99, it's going to replace Dispatch. So here our thought process is we have a pretty good number of spot removal spells in this deck. We're not really worried too much about grand scale creature removal. It's removing a spot troublesome or nuisance creature from here or from there, while we can allow our commanders to swing in for lethal commander damage. So what we're doing is we're going to get rid of one of those spot removal spells to make way for a way in which to make our equipment theme even stronger, which Cassandra is going to allow us to do by fetching the spear and providing card draw at the same time. So Dispatch is going to come out, slightly weakening that part of our deck in order to strengthen it overall. Foreshadowing aside, the last card going into the 99 of this deck is, well, you look at that, it's the Spear of Leonidas. Here we have a legendary equipment for 2 and a red mana, and whenever equipped creature attacks, we choose one. Either it gains double strike until end of turn, which could be game over for one of our opponents if it's attached to one of our commanders, or we create... What does that say? We create Phobos, a legendary 3/2 red horse creature token, or we discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards. So the token, I mean, that could be helpful. Most likely that will be the third option for us. The first option most likely being the creature is going to gain double strike until end of turn, or we'll do some rummaging by discarding a couple of cards from our hand that we may not need in order to put 2 fresh ones into our hand instead. The spear, again, Cassandra is going to find it from our library, recur it from our graveyard, or take it from our hand and get it onto the battlefield. So with her in play, once we cast her and she goes into play, we won't have to worry about finding the spear because she'll find it for us. And when it's on our side of the battlefield, it only has an equip cost of 2. So we can consider the Spear of Leonidas, with its doubling the power of equipped creature, we can consider that a win condition in a deck that wants to win with commander damage. With the Spear going into the deck, it's going to replace Maul of the Skyclaves. Now here we have an equipment, it's 2 and a white mana. When it comes into play, we attach it to target creature we control. If we don't have a creature when it comes into play, we don't attach it to a creature we control. If it's on a creature we control and then the creature, is removed from the battlefield, then to equip it is a healthy 2 and 2 white mana. If only that were 4 generic mana, it would be a lot easier, but the 2 white mana there, not really too helpful. It gives equipped creature +2/+2 flying and first strike. The +2/+2 is every single sword that we have in the deck. The flying is evasion, and the swords provide us with 2 different types of evasion with the different colors. The first strike will be unnecessary when we're attacking with protection from this color and protection from that color. So by swapping out Maul of the Skyclaves, we put in a card. Okay, all apologies there. We ran into a little bit of technical difficulties near the conclusion of this video. So just to backtrack ever so slightly, the Spear of Leonidas is going to go into the 99, replacing Maul of the Skyclaves. And the thought process here is that losing the flying and the +2/+2 that Maul of the Skyclaves gave the equipped creature, well, that's somewhat mitigated because we have so many other ways in which to slide in with evasion, particularly from any of our swords and a lot of other equipment that we have, and that's going to give way to our ability to give our the equipped creature double strike until end of turn, which, let's face it, that should allow us to wipe out our opponents that much more quickly. All right, there you have it, MTG BC. 3 cards going in, 3 cards coming out in our Rograkh and Akiri, or what I like to call them, in our Rograkh Equipment Matters deck. Let us know your thoughts about these changes in the comment section below. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things Magic.